the Ripple. Rock the Ripple. Rock the Ripple. The Rock the Ripple podcast with Nereeda McInnes.
Let's do this. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rock the Ripple podcast. I'm your host, Nereeda McInnes. It is so awesome to be here with you as always. Today I have invited back a guest who I absolutely love. She needs no introduction, but she might give herself one. Her name is Biba Logan. Biba, welcome to the show.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back.
Welcome back. You were going to do the intro, weren't you? Weren't you going to do the intro?
Was I going to? I can help you do the intro.
Yeah, in an Australian accent.
Actually, do you guess? Have they heard your Irish accent?
And sweetheart, they haven't.
Well, I think it's really beautiful. So if you actually tell them what we're doing here today, we're having a different kind of a podcast today.
We are, sweetheart. We're actually going to be I can't do it. We're going to be talking
you do
about
it so well.
I was trying. It's about the only word that I've tried to parrot that you've heard of with you saying. But anyway, what are we going to be talking about? We're going to talk about cosmic weather events and just whatever flows through. It just feels like we should just chat and shoot the breeze, and that's why we're hanging out today. Do you want to start? You got something on your heart?
Well, no.
That rhymed, by the way. Did you like that?
It's wonderful to just be with you because myself and yourself have the same. We're on the same page, and there's so much going on internally for each of us, and it's just nice to talk about what's really going on and how to articulate what you're experiencing and how to navigate through it, and the waves of change that are within us each individually, and the waves of change that are happening globally and cosmically. And so it's a cosmic weather broadcast here today.
Yeah, it is. We're with Weather Woman. We're the women. We're the creatures.
We're the weather women.
Weather the weather. Far out. This is going to go great. So how's the weather, Biba?
Well, listen, I'm going to be very honest, okay? Because if I'm not very honest, it's not worth shit.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I'm not selling something, so I don't need to pretend everything's great. I feel like I'm on an invisible roller coaster, and it glides and then it goes whoomp, it sinks, and then it goes up and down, and there's no consistency, there's no gauging. Anything I hold on to gets swept away real quick. Any idea or concept, or it's almost like everything in the room is moving, and I just have to become a witness to what's happening, because if I take it too seriously, I'm like, why am I here? And when I start asking, why am I here? That's not a good question for me, because it usually means I don't want to be here. Why did I come here? I don't like asking that question, because it just indicates there's something shifting in me, and it's painful, you know? What do you think about all of that?
I think, you know what? I think there is so much shifting at a rapid rate right now. And I reckon so many people would be able to relate to the invisible roller coaster. And I think now is more than ever, with all of this shit that's cosmic shit that's flying around. Like it's up to us to do the work on ourselves. It's up to us to be able to be that tree in the storm, but still allow to flow with the breeze, and to be able to go, like, to ride that wave, because the wave is like, it's pretty massive at the moment, and there's a lot of waves going on for everyone. And I think there's people who can totally relate to what you're saying, in that you know, they'll think, why am I here? But I do think we came here for this time, though. I really do. I think we're supposed to be here. We're supposed to be doing this, aren't we? We're supposed to be going through all this craziness, and every single person on the planet right now made a choice to come here. Do you feel that?
Oh, absolutely. Like we did, yeah. We're fully equipped. to get it done, We're fully equipped.
Yeah.
But some days it just doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like I just want to just hide it under the bed with an enormous Toblerone and some shit on Netflix. But you have to do the work and the work is inquiry, self-inquiry, and it just never ends. You have to do it. It's a never-ending journey of self-discovery, and you're not alone. And the traumas are coming up. And I know that because I'm going through that. I don't know what the trauma is, but I don't even need to know what it is. It's the resonance of what is coming to the surface to be cleaned.
Yeah.
And it's really uncomfortable. It's like going into a house that's really cluttered and you're thinking, man, this is going to take forever to clean and I got to clean the windows. But when this thing comes to the surface, my soul can go to the next phase of its development, the next evolutionary leap, right? So, for example, if I'm visual, right? I'm really dyslexic, so I'm very visual because of that. And it is like a boat. You have to be the captain of your own ship, and your own ship is your life and everything in your life. And whether you're on your own, listen, I know what that's like. I raised a kid on my own. I had a business. I've done it on my own. I'm a loner. I really am a loner. Me. This is not all about me, but I just want to give you an analogy, right?
Yeah.
Because there's way too many narcissists on the internet, but we won't go down that road, giving false information. I just don't want to be associated with anything like that because there's so much misinformation on the internet. It's fascinating at how I look at it, but we'll talk about that in a minute. This ship is in the middle of a storm, and really, if we go back to the conversation we had, that it's already done. Everything's already worked out. We're already on the other side of it on a soul level, but we have to go through the motions. And as we go through the motions, it's almost like we've got to just play this out. And you must be based in your heart to do that, because otherwise it's just not going to work out very well. It's going to be painful. It's going to take longer, and longer could mean anything in what's going on. And for me, I have to just set my sail in direction of freedom and love. And when I connect to the earth and the sun and the galaxy and these beings, and then the creator being of this universe, and I bring in their energy and I amplify, because I'm an equal to that. We all are. When I amplify my energy into their field and my field, they talk to me. And when they talk to me, everything's okay. Everything's okay. But when I feel disconnected, everything's not okay. I can't cope with going to the supermarket and someone's slow. Do you know, everything becomes, we must really work very hard to stay connected to our own center. And whatever that means for you, it has to be in the front, because what's happening out there, interesting out there, it's going to just keep trying to knock you off course the whole time. So you got to anchor yourself in something that you believe in, which should be yourself.
Yeah, I think that's so important right now. It's also, we've spoken about this so many times, but just the love of ourselves, like, not, I love myself, but I love myself. I will treat myself really well, and then I will not treat anyone horribly, because you know what it's like. So it's just that coming back to truth and trust and love for yourself, and then being able to just, when things do go a bit funny, because we will be put off kilter sometimes, like, we're human, we're having a human experience, so that is going to happen, isn't it? We're gonna face these things. We're gonna have those times where we just want to get in our spaceship and go away, or just hide under the bed and eat a big Toblerone, whatever it is, like you said. But part of this, I think, we came here to learn and grow, and this expansion is happening with us. Like and so, like you said before too, like, in order to level up, we have to get rid of that shit that's been holding us back. And that's something I've been talking about a lot lately as well too. Like, we've got to clear the house. And that stuff is the stuff that is the traumas or the things that we don't want to look at. And that's the stuff that's going to shift consciousness on the whole. So if we're looking out there and going, everything's fucked, like, you know, like it's all crazy and whatever, well, what within us can we look at that might be a bit crazy within us? What is it that we haven't looked at yet? What is there for us to heal? And that's not saying it's all us, but everything does begin within. So we've got to start there and do that work. And sometimes it's not sexy. Sometimes it's not good looking. Sometimes it's just like, I was talking with a beautiful soul the other day, and we we're just talking about like going through all the different emotions. Like we can't just be all love and light all the time. We have emotion. And I was saying, you know, I had this, you know, this stuff was coming up, and I just had the big, like sitting on the carpet, bawling your eyes out, the big howl, just like, but that was inside me. That was inside me. So I needed to let it out. So all this sort of trying to repress and keep things under the rug, that's not serving humanity anymore. And I think that's why so much stuff is coming to the surface, because so many people are doing the work and we're seeing that stuff come up. And that's what's really beautiful about this time as well too. Like we're just, you know, we're doing this work, and the more of us that are doing that, like, you know, better than anyone, we're energetic beings. We are shifting consciousness. We're rocking the ripple. We're like creating stuff on a scale that is just beyond, just by doing that work. Like, because if everything is within, like as above, so below, as within, so without, then the tiniest little shifts that we make in our life, ripples out. Like, I think we forget how powerful we are sometimes. Like, we are freaking powerful. We are such powerful creatures, such powerful souls, energies, whatever you want to call us. And so when we just remember that and start with doing the work ourselves, like, I think that makes a massive difference. And I think that's why we're seeing such a crazy cosmic weather at the moment. Do you think so as well too?
You're an extraordinary being. Do you know that?
Haha.
You really are. Like when you talk, I feel everything you're saying. Like I see it. I see you said what we're doing is we can't even comprehend the work that we're doing, what it's transforming in this realm. Like, yeah, we're dealing with interpersonal trauma, which is awful. It's awful, but it has to be done.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, ironing to me is awful. You know, I hate ironing, but I have to do it. But I actually don't iron. I just use tumble dryer. I'll always find a hack, but it is the work that we're doing individually. And if you go back to an old habit, don't knock yourself for that. Just come back on track. Don't worry about getting on the old-fashioned bus. Just come back to your center, connect to your inner core, and because by doing that, you're not giving in to the system. The system is here to fuck you up and break you down. That's what it's here for, right? And it's not a pretty thing, and it's not about love and light. This has nothing to do with love and light. It's what we are. We are that. Yeah. But in order for that to be fully immersed in this realm, we have a lot to go through in order for that light and that love to land. And that looks like it's real. It has an array of emotions. It has colorful language. It doesn't have any criteria. It just is what it needs to be in order to be on at 100 watts in this place. And so it's not like, hey, you know, I'm a good person or I'm love and light. No. Yeah, that's your nature, but you also have a personality that's been severely traumatized, whether you're aware of it or not. Even by going to school, most people were traumatized, even if they had an amazing childhood. And now they might have had a shit childhood and a shit going to school, and they did shit in their exams. And there's all these things you have to contend with. So if you're angry, it's okay to be angry. You know, if you're upset, be upset, but come back to center. Don't be upset and then look at the injustices of the world and start protesting, because your anger is just being broadcasted into the field of awareness, and everybody's going to suffer because of it. So when you go in and you say, oh my gosh, and you cry and you like what you just did, and you got in touch with the wealth of stuff that's coming up in you, you're processing your stuff, but you're also processing so much other stuff that's got nothing to do with you. Like a fun factory, right? It's like when you put the on button on, you're a filter system for this realm because everything's looking to be cleaned. There are entities in this realm that need assistance too. So they're looking to come through light vessels to be cleaned. So, there's so much going on, and it's not about like, hey, life is great. No, life is extremely challenging and it's extremely beautiful at the same time. That's the truth of it. And some days I'm very, very loving and kind and empathic and intuitive. And some days I'm just a hermit. Don't talk to me. Mm-hmm. I'm in my own. When I'm like one of those wounded dogs. When I'm going through something, I just have to go into, I just need to be left alone. Mm. And some people need to talk and they need somebody. I'm the opposite. I just need myself because I've always had to rely on myself. It was what happened to me when I was younger, right? So they're habits. And, what we're here for is beyond what we can comprehend. But it's big and it affects the universe. Like, because this planet, this being that we're on, this earth being, well, we give it the name of the earth, but this highly empathic giver of life that we are working through, and it's working through us. Like we're on a journey, we're married, we're in sync. And when you row in with the energy of this earth, and not to save it or anything, it knows what it's doing. It's got its own comrades. Just become one with that. And ask it to help you just ease your day by sending you kind people or insights about what's going on for you. Recently, I didn't know what was wrong because for me, when I look out my window, everything's fine, right? It's winter and all is normal. When you go on the internet and you look at all the things, you're like, whoa, everything in the AI is like, it's like Netflix. Which one do you want to watch? Horror, comedy, it's a bit like that. It's actually just like that. But for me, it's not about what I'm seeing, it's what I'm feeling. And there's this, it's like volcanoes of energy. There's so much eruption happening at the moment. And I feel that. And I have to decipher what's mine and what's not mine. And what is mine is if I'm angry or agitated, or it means there's something in me that needs to come up. And no matter how long you're on this journey, and no matter how many lives you're living or past lives or anything that you believe in, or it doesn't matter. You're always going to have to deal with trauma. Mm. It doesn't go away. There's always stuff to clean. So my point is, I thought, oh my gosh, this thing is coming up. I'm not aware of it, but I know it's there. I don't know what it is specifically, but energetically, there's a thing coming up. And I'm like, oh, I thought I was done with this. Mm. I thought I'm like 50. I've done a lot of work on myself. And then I thought, what is that? That's my ego talking. I've done a lot of work on myself and I know the spiritual game. No, you don't. Yeah, you're only tipping your toe in the ocean of bliss. And in order for you to get right into that water, you're going to have to fucking suffer because you can't get in and swim in those oceans with shit. You like the mission, bags of trauma, weight, guilt, shame, blame, all those things. So and I thought, wow, okay, so I have to deal with something. What shall I do? I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to go to the cinema and forget about it. So what's the longest movie? It's 3 hours. Interstellar, right? It's 3 hours, like great. Popcorn, tea, let's go. And I said to the girl when I was buying the ticket, I just want to tune out of my reality because it's really uncomfortable. She was like, that's a good movie to do that too. So I'm in the cinema and I'm eating my popcorn just crying because it's such a beautiful movie. And then my heart says to me, my soul says to me, contact Rebecca, the girl you interviewed, Baron, the beautiful Rebecca, right?
She's
contact
amazing.
Rebecca. Yeah, amazing. So I was like, okay, I got the memo, and then I just thought, I know what I need to do. I need to ask for help. Mm. I'm not used to that, right? Mm. So I need to ask for help. So my point is, run away from it for a time, but then come back because you have to clean it out, because when you do, then the relief is there again. Then there's a new there's a new thing for you to discover about yourself in this world that you're in. That's beautiful. So the pain or the discomfort or the uncertainty or the heaviness that you're feeling, it's equally matching what's to come on the flip side of that, which is the freedom. You can't lose sight of that. Don't let the weight carry you down like The Mission, you know. Do you ever see The Mission with De Niro?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you have to see The Mission. The soundtrack is, Morricone did the soundtrack to that, like, and he's carrying this, and the priest makes him, he was a human trafficker. And he has remorse, right? He wakes up and he's got remorse. And he's like, oh my God. So this priest says, come with me. I want you to meet the tribe that he used to steal the people from. So he gets this sack, and in the sack he puts all kinds of furniture, heavy things like silver chandeliers and heavy, heavy things. And he has to carry them on his back climbing up a mountain, and he can't do it because this is his punishment to himself. He has to suffer. And he nearly dies a million times. And then the priest says to him, Jeremy Irons, he says, are you done suffering? Have you forgiven yourself yet? And he's like, no. But then he nearly dies, and Jeremy Irons, he just gets the sack and he throws it off. He goes, you got to forgive yourself. And then he brings them to the tribe, and they're all like, that's the guy who stole our family. And it's a magnificent film, but it just goes to show you, at some point, you just have to go, you have to just let it go. Yeah. Like, fuck it. Like, let it go. Like, you have to say, I'm actually going to let this go. And in the letting go and releasing, then you feel the freedom.
Yeah.
And all those connected to you feel it too. That was a bit long, wasn't it?
Oh, I love it. I love listening to you talk, Biba. It's so good. It's so good.
That's where we're at, isn't it, though?
Yeah, well, it is. It absolutely is. And I love that. I'm surprised I haven't seen that movie, but maybe have you ever watched Divergent? I love the Divergent series, and where she has to face herself in order to unlock that final thing. It's the same sort of thing. She's got to forgive herself. She's got to, for what she's done, and what she's been holding on to. You know the scene I'm talking about with the thing? No, you don't, do you? Anyone who's watched it will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And I love what you said as well before. Like, well, you said so many cool things then. Like, for example, that you withdraw and you go in, and that's what you've done before. But then you needed to ask for help. And some of us do like to talk it out with people. And sometimes it's just, that comes down to knowing yourself as well too, is in knowing what you need and being okay with being wobbly and not having it all together, like, because none of us do we? None of us have it all together.
Not one.
Not one. And I think that's the thing. We're all learning as we go. We're all learning. We've all got this stuff coming up, and exactly what you said, like, we are in that time where we're letting go of all of the big bag that we're carrying up the mountain, like, we're because we can't take that with us for where we're heading either. Like, on a frequency shift, we are shifting frequencies to a place that, yes, our soul or spirit or the all that is has already been there and done that, but we're, like you said before, going through the motions. And so in order to do that, we have to let go of those things. And that's why it always comes back to self, doesn't it? Like, in order for us to get to where we want to be, to live our highest potential, to be all that we came here to be, when we do that, like, when we set that intention, like, that's something we need to be prepared, to be honest, because when we say, oh, I'm aligned with the frequency of my highest potential, well, that's great. All your shit's going to come up. I'm telling you, it's not going to be like all smooth. You're going to have shit flying everywhere. You're going to have your dark night of the souls. You're going to be challenged, but those challenges are also opportunities to grow. But it's also how you decide how you're going to look at it, isn't it? Like, it's like, maybe I'll see it as a challenge or a roadblock, or I'll see it as, okay, I know that this is for me. Like, this is happening for me. Like, that's something that been really tapping into again, and I'm sure you've heard it so many times, that things are happening for us. It doesn't mean that everything is great when shit happens. Like, I'm not saying that, but there is purpose behind a lot of the stuff that's going on, and it's for us to be able to step into who we're meant to be. And we're already that's the thing too. So it's just taking off those layers, isn't it? And like dropping those bags at the bottom of the mountain, and just like forgiving ourselves for the things that we wish we could change, because I was saying this with someone the other day too. There are things, like, I'm sure we would all, if we were to have our time again, we would do things differently, but we also, those things have helped shape us. And when you get to that place of loving yourself and all of that, it falls away, because you wouldn't change it for anything. Like, you wouldn't change your knowledge and your knowing and your love for yourself, would you? You wouldn't change that when you have that. You can see it as a learning thing, as well. You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. You're just highlighting the journey. Actually, you're mapping out the journey, because when I say I'm going to align to my highest potential, then I have to go, my highest potential is this, but there's a rock here. And in that rock is everything you don't want to know about yourself, and the world you live in as well.
Yeah.
And the things that's going on in the world, and not to let them carry you down, but you got to go right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fully integrate all of it. I'm not going to reject any part. I'm going to love every aspect of it, because that's how we get through this. When we go, right, well, but okay, I get it. I know it was hard, and I know this is happening. However, we're here now. In this moment, we're here. We're doing well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fully integrate and almost like absorb and not reject any part of myself or my story, because I'm not my story, but it is a story that I've been through. And so in order for me, say if you were raped, or you went through satanic child abuse, or parents got divorced and it just broke you up. It doesn't have to be traumatic, like as in physically, or abuse, it can just be a situation that just you tapped out.
Yeah, trauma is still trauma. Yeah.
It's still trauma, or just the way your parents fought in front of you. And you're thinking, whoa, adults are just dangerous, And when we become more aware of the story that we have put ourselves in, and we integrate it fully, you cover it with love, and then it dissolves within you. And so you don't look back and go, I wish I had been kinder to my child. Yeah, no, I was hard because I didn't like myself back then. But I've made it right now. So instead of going, what I didn't like, and I reject that, because that guilt about how you were, for me personally, this is my own story. When she was younger, I'm thinking, for years I thought, whoa, but then if I go back before I had a kid, I never liked myself because I didn't know myself. How could I like someone I don't know? I didn't like my story, but I thought it was me. I didn't like me. It wasn't me I didn't like, it was my story. It was sad to me. It was lonely, right? And it wasn't all lonely, but there were lonely moments. And now I integrate that fully in, because I understand that how I am now is I intuitively, automatically, default setting, I'm very aware when somebody feels alone, and I just go, hey, it's okay. I see you. I get you. Like, I really get you. And everything's going to be really good. And so that's my superpower. It's my superpower. And we're not alone, even though you might be living on your own, and you're not having a partner, or your kids aren't talking to you. Like the earth, let's just go the earth here for a moment. You're inside of the earth. You're inside of a being, within a being, within a being, within a being. So inside of the earth, inside of a solar system, inside of a galaxy, inside of this universal being. So, and those beings are working through you, and you're working through them. They showed me that this morning. They're like, you're living through us. You're living in and through us, and we're living in and through you. It's an equal symbiotic relationship. So stop looking to humans all the time for the solution. Humans can be the solution, but there's also other elements at play. And I'm not talking about fairies and angels and ETs. I'm talking about creator beings, galactic creator beings that won't manipulate you or try to use you to communicate their message. They actually are here equally with you. And so it's a very beautiful thing when you're not in pain, isn't it? When you're in pain, it's not beautiful. It's just painful.
It is. It is just painful but it's all part of it as well. And I like what you just said about the galactic, or what was it that you just said? The beings that are here, they're walking alongside us. They're not asking us to give our power away. And I think that's something that's really important as well too. It's not like calling in anything to come into your heart. It's like walking alongside powerful creator beings and remembering that you too are that. You two are that, and that you're working together. It's not about looking up or down, projecting up or projecting down. It's about remembering that you're doing it together. Do you feel that as well?
Yeah, I feel that with you as well, like as a person, on a person to person, like human to human. Like when I look at you, I just see a galaxy. I just see a cosmic event. And it's got all the solutions in there. And it's free from the confines of what we understand. You have the ability to really, really, really transform everything in our known reality into something quite different. I see you differently now. I got you before, but I've got you now on a outside of this realm level. Like I really see you, and it's extraordinary what I see.
Yeah, and thank you. I would say that you can only see that which you are. So, mirror, mirror on the wall, Biba, just hanging out in the cosmic gallery. Gallery or galaxy? Far out, can't even speak. We're just hanging out in the cosmic gallery. We are though, aren't we? What were you going to say?
We're having a chin wag. This is as deep as it gets, but it's real, and it's real. And so when you're on the internet, because we're always looking for help and assistance and solutions, and so we're all on YouTubes and Rumbles and Tumbles and all these kinds of things, and there's lots of information out there, but what's your information? What's the information that's coming through you? What does your soul need to express at this time? So, for example, I'm reading a David Icke book at the moment called The Reveal. And I love David Icke. I think he's amazing. I always have, although he got a bit heavy at the old COVID thing because he was angry, rightly so. But he had a spiritual awakening, and he has his vantage point, like yours, actually. His perspective on what we are is far exceeds most people on the internet. But he never talks about that. He just talks about the matrix, right? Which is fine, because that's his mission, that's his calling. But I've noticed he's now weaving in his experiences, and he's weaving in his understanding of the power of what we are, because we know the problem. Not everyone, but let's say you know the problem. There's quite a few, but there's the things at play here that are, the magicians that are hypnotizing this planet. So you're never enough, and you need this and all of this. And the thing about that is that there's two things I want to talk about here. One is where David Icke's going, but the second thing is when you have a trauma, the frequencies that are manipulating the atmosphere here, the hypnotic frequencies that are coming in to keep people so they don't question things, they access you through your trauma. We spoke about this before, but like what you've experienced is they're going to get it. They can only access you through what you've experienced. So when you clean it up, you're locking off the doors to them. Yeah, you can raise your frequency all you like. I've been doing it for 30 years, but man, my trauma still lets them in. The subconscious trauma. That's the bummer here. I'm like, I have a subconscious trauma. I know I do. That's why I'm calling Rebecca, because I said to her, I don't know what I need. I just need someone outside of myself to look in. And she goes, okay, no problem, because I have a subconscious trauma that's floating in the atmosphere and they're accessing me. I'm being attacked through it. I can feel it. And so when these frequencies, incoherent frequencies, I call them, are accessing you through your trauma, when you block off that and you start loving yourself, like what you say, you always bring it back to just loving what you are, who you are, or integrate your story, all of it. Then these don't work.
No.
Raise your frequency, and then they don't work. But then you can get triggered. You can watch a documentary, you can have a conversation, your mum can look at you sideways, you can get triggered. So keep working on yourself, because then you are the one that's going to amplify the energies from you out into this realm. And you are going to repel those that are trying to manipulate reality. And David I talks brilliantly about that. And he's got a wicked sense of humor. And so I never discuss David Icke with anybody, because he's not for everybody. He's a particular type of being, but he has a lot to offer if you're looking for assistance. And he talks in his new book about the left brain and the right brain, exactly like what Rebecca talks about, and how this world is set up through the one way. So if you're interested in understanding what's happening in this realm at the moment, he's a quite a clean place to start, I would say.
I think it's been really pivotal for many people's awakenings and breaking things down for quite some time. Well, like you said, he's been doing it for years and years. So he's definitely woken up so many people. And I think you're right. He's bringing in the flavor now of more the multidimensional stuff, I guess, as well. And I love what Rebecca talks about as well too. She's so real and just beautiful, and she just taps in, and she's gone through her own stuff to be able to do that. And again, like, just because you've done work on yourself, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be triggered and things aren't going to come up. That's just it. I guess a simple way to think about it is, if you've got a house and you've got it clean, like, it's not going to stay clean. Like, you're going to have to still do the work. I mean, it would be lovely. We could get some little cleaning fairies who love to clean and want to do it. That'd be great. But you know what I mean? Like, so we like you said, we're still got to do the work, and that's the thing. Like, we're all here doing it. I can't remember what else we were saying just then, but you said so many good things that it's just, when it comes in and then it goes out again. But yeah.
But here's the thing. All of what we said, it's doing and knowing and being. But in the middle of that, there is this connection. And it's, when I spoke to the earth this morning, and the sun, and the creator being of this universe, not the all that is creator being, because I don't believe in they're all the one. I'm not going to go into my beliefs, because I don't want to have any beliefs, because they're pointless at this stage.
Yeah. It'll change tomorrow. It'll change tomorrow.
Just don't waste your time. Just
Yeah.
forget about it.
Yeah.
They showed me how I'm living through them, and just the recognition of that. It's whoa. Coming to Earth just for that recognition alone is beautiful. Coming here and experiencing all that I've experienced and done, all of it that my life has been, in this particular vessel at this time, like the recognition of these beings, these creator beings, this earth, and the sun, and we're one. We're here to get something done. Like, just the recognition of that is enough for me to get me another 50 years here. Do you know, the beauty of that is like, yeah, I'll do anything, because that is everything.
I so feel that when you say that. When you say that, it's like a feeling, it's a knowing, and it is a magical time, and it is a crazy place, and there's so many amazing things that are going on, and we've got so much to offer and so much to learn, so much to experience. And like, I don't know, like, we're having a finite experience, but being an infinite being. So it's so spectacular, really, isn't it? Like, and everything's happening right now. Like, it's all happening now. So whatever's happening is happening now. So Atlantis is happening now. Lemuria is happening now. Like, whatever else that we just can't even imagine is happening now. And we're somehow a part of it on some level, somewhere. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I feel absolutely. I feel it. What I'm really interested in knowing from your being, is the frequency shift that's happening and what's coming. Like, how do you feel about that? How do you view that?
Hmm. Well, I mean, some days I don't even want to view it at all. I don't want to think about it, like you said. Go watch a movie that's really long. No, hide under the bed with the Toblerone. No, I think I do. I feel really like right now in this moment when I think about it, it feels expansive. It feels like there's so many different things going on everywhere for everyone, and it's different for everyone. Everyone's experience isn't the same, but we're all going through it together. But there's so many different realities playing out, like, and everyone's perception is theirs. So no one can be having the exact same experience, but we are having a collective thing still going on. There's lots of talk here that some stuff will be happening in Australia and at certain dates and things like that are coming up. And that's not creating it. I think there's been lots of things at play, and this is part of the game. Like, if we were to look at it as a game, that this is part of the game. Okay, this thing's going to pop up now. This is when the fire comes out of the dragon's mouth, and then some of us will have to dodge it. And like, this is the level that we're at. But yeah, and then you can go all out. You can go really big picture and see that there's all this stuff happening, and it's supposed to be exactly how it is. But then you can zoom back in, and you're like, what the hell is going on at the same time? But then come back to your center and know that, isn't this exciting? Isn't this exciting, this game that we came here to play, knowing that you are an infinite being and that you're an infinite soul, and that ultimately it's okay. But I also appreciate that that can be, depending on where you're at in your life, what I'm saying right now can just sound like a whole lot of codwash, and can also sound like that's just too far out. But I don't know. I see big picture, and I guess it's how it's supposed to be playing out. But we're also deciding how it plays out at the same time. It's like a choose your own adventure, and all of us are choosing our own adventures within the game. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm just saying whatever comes through. So I don't even know what's coming out right now. But if that's making sense, that's great. And if not, I'll just have to restart.
No, keep going. No, don't do that, because it makes perfect sense. So keep going. So where's it going, or what's coming, or what is, like, where do you see all of this? What is this going on here all about, really?
Well,
Pull out of and tell us what you see.
well, when I pull out, I see that this is exactly how it's supposed to be, even though it's crazy. But there's so much that we don't know. There's so much we don't see. We don't realize the power of who we are, and that every action and every interaction that we have, like how powerful that is across the cosmos, like those ripples. Like, I know I said that before, but that is creating the reality that we're all a part of. And I think that we're here to let ourselves shine in our most authentic, expressive way, whatever that looks like for us. And when we do that, like, if you can imagine every person as a puzzle piece, and I know this is so simple, but and then just like flatten everyone out, make yourself look like a puzzle piece, and just put yourself in there. Like, everyone has that bit to play. So no one thing, one creature, one animal, one tree, one leaf, everything is supposed to be there. So that's where so everything is sort of playing out in the way that it's supposed to. And in it, we're all playing these different roles. And, there's people I listen to that they're so good at, like, they're code breakers. They're like decoding everything that's going on in the system. And my mind is blown by how freaking intelligent they are, and just how they put everything together. And when I look at what they put out there, I'm just like, well, that makes sense. Like, the knowing is there, because truth resonates. You know truth when you see it, or you feel it. And so you see what all these people are putting out. I'm like, far out, these people are good. And but that's their piece of the puzzle. And if I was to do hours and hours of that research and try, I wouldn't be expressing myself in the best possible way, because that's not, although I could do a bit of it, it's not where I will shine. Like, you know what I mean? And we've all got and like, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be it's just, I mean, to me, things just come back down to simple things like, like when you open the door for someone and you say, oh, after you, or thanks very much, or we'll, let's swap here. Like, I'll swap you. Like, just those kind of interactions, like they're the simplest things, but to me, they make the biggest difference. And I don't know, I feel like more of us are becoming aware of how powerful we are, and we're doing that more and more. And we're becoming more aware of who we are and becoming more compassionate as well too. So while we're having this big shift in consciousness and frequency, like, we're remembering who we are and how freaking special and magic that we are. And like, that is incredible in itself. I mean, it's so good. I just think those interactions for me, those little moments, they're the big moments, because everything else can be just so busy and crazy. But, and then the laughing, like you and I, like if we just have a laugh over something totally ridiculous, like it is to me the best thing. And that's vibrating out so much. So what's happening right now? I think we're just shifting. I think we're leveling up. I think we're becoming more of who we are. We're growing up as well. We're stepping into ourselves, into our heart, and into our knowing and our love for ourselves. And we're not taking any shit. We're not taking any shit either. We're becoming who we're supposed to be. And I think it's a pretty magical time, at the same time as being just as crazy. Like, that's the thing about this place, isn't it? Like, that it's the paradox of it all is there's be so much beauty and there's so much pain, but at the same time we're spiraling, we're continually spiraling, and we're co-creating this reality together at the same time. Yeah, that's what I got for you.
Wow, that was just like watching the best movie. No trailers, just keep going. Yeah, exactly. So I am the beauty, and I am the pain. But I allow those, as you said, they come like a whirlwind and they go, and it just become that. Because when the beauty comes, when the remembrance comes, because you said we're beginning to remember who we are. I mean, do you feel that? Nothing feels as good as that, right?
Yeah.
Just an acknowledgement of that, and that's the beauty, and then allow the beauty of that to become that beauty, and to know that is so. And then maybe in 2 hours' time, when something comes and it's really uncomfortable, or you have a memory, become that, and then that will also pass. Because if I resist it, oh man, it just amplifies it. If I resist something I don't like because it's counteracting the beauty that I feel, or the joy that I feel, or the peace, or the relief I have for a moment, then this comes and you're like, oh, it's my resistance to it that gets me out of the flow. And then I'm in that jagged, that double-edged sword space. And I hate that, because I tend to turn on myself. I think we all do that. I turn on myself, and I should know what I'm doing with my life, and I should. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Look where you are in your life. Stop talking like you're 10 and you didn't get the toy you wanted for Christmas. It wasn't the red one, it was the blue one I wanted. And yeah, Jesus, man, when you talk about it's us remembering who we are, let's put this into some kind of context, because none of us have the full understanding. Some, as you said, some of those amazing minds, they really can really go in and get a bigger understanding. But some people say for 400 years we've been in under control, or under the influence of a regime. People say, since the 40s, or 400 years, or go millions of years, but for eons of time we've been controlled. We have. I believe that. I don't know if believe is the wrong word, but I take that to be a truth, because I could feel it. And you see it playing out and this eons of time, humanity has been manipulated, genetically altered and controlled. And it's almost like there's a tear in the sky. For the first time, it's like, oh my gosh, there's a way out of this. For millions of years, suddenly there's a tear in the sky and you're like, I actually can get out of this. This isn't, it's like we've woken up. It's like, oh my gosh, hold on. So don't think, oh, the Savior's coming to save me. Don't go down there. I used to really believe that. And it was real to me because the powers that be, I had heavy depression for 20 years. I only remember this the other night, right? Really heavy. It's very heavy. It was really bad. No one knew it was bad. And I remember I went into this Christian church and I didn't know what Christianity was. We was never brought up religious. And all these people were like, hallelujah, men and women crying. And I was like, this is amazing. Because for a moment, they weren't thinking that they're it. They were giving their power away. And I liked that. So I thought, wow, like these people are really, what are they doing? And the woman said she said, does anybody have anything that they need prayer for? And I was like, well, yeah, I get sad. So I'd gone up to the front of the aisle in the altar. And this is a Hallelujah Christian church, right? I didn't know that existed. And I went up and I said, yeah, I get sad sometimes. And she was like, is that depression? And I was like, well, I didn't like the word depression. I was like, no, I just get sad. And she was like, are you into the occult? Do you do witchcraft? And I was like, no, what are you even talking about? No, I just get sad. Like the whole fucking time I'm sad. In the name of Jesus, right? So she gives me the whole fucking Jesus thing, right? Sorry to the Christians, but this is what it was like. So, and I'd known Jesus my whole life because he showed up when I was 8. So this being called Jesus, right, is interesting to me now because I don't know how I feel about any of that, but it probably was my own soul showing up, right? I don't know who it was or what it was, but anyway, Jesus showed up. So in the church, I was like, well, I love Jesus. They were like, you love him? I was like, well, yeah, it's like my best friend. So we're going to pray to Jesus and the Holy Spirit's going to come and the whole fucking shebang, da-da. And she said this prayer, okay? And this energy came through me. It was like a waterfall, but it was an energy waterfall. And water came out of my eyes for 2 hours. I wasn't crying. It's just water came out of my eyes. It was like I was releasing. I just can't even begin to express what I was releasing, but the depression instantly left. Instantly. That's a miracle. Hallelujah. So I was like, what is that? It's like the Holy Spirit. I was like, the Holy Spirit, I need to know the Holy Spirit. So I went on a 10-year quest in that whole Christian thing. Never really into church, but just the whole how it works. And now I look back 20 years later and I'm like, because I had a miracle, I got sucked into you see, the depression was never there. The sadness was just me plugging into a vibration on this planet. My traumas were like a magnet pulled into the trauma of the world, trauma in me. It was like, I'm so sad. I didn't have anything to counteract it. I didn't know how to pull away from it because this is the slave system. This is what I'm talking about. Sorry, this is before the tear in the sky. And so when I had a miracle, I was like, that's the answer. And then I did worship for 10 years and I fed that thing worship. It doesn't matter whether it's trauma or worship. It's sucking your energy out of you. It's going to take whatever you've got. So it will design this and this. And then when I pulled back from all of that and I thought, okay, hold on, what's actually going on here? I thought, Jesus, there's so much entertainment. There's so much frills and entertainment and things to do and systems. And I thought, none of this is real. This is all like set up. There's no peace with this and it never ends. And then I went in and then I thought, no, what we're going through now is freedom, our rightful soul sovereignty, freedom that we haven't had for such a long time. So the work that you're doing feels so monumental because it is. Because it's generations of asleepness, the generations of galactic families, soul families, ancestors we're all, when we wake up, they wake up. Whatever realm they're in now, don't don't presume that when you drop that body, you're going to be enlightened. Where you are now is where you'll be when you're not in this body. That's my understanding. I would like that not to be true. I'd like to think when I drop this body, I'm just like on point.
Yeah.
And maybe I will be, like I'm like, no, no one's manipulating me, like I'm a free sovereign entity of energy or whatever, light, divinity. I'm one with everything. But as long as I'm in this vessel and I have this comprehension, all I know is that it's so big that there's no words for it.
Yeah.
There's no words for it, and it's never been done before. This planet's going through her own evolution, and she's moving, and that's never been done. Apparently, the humans on the Earth are going to stay alive as this planet's moving. That's like, whoa, okay. So there's all these things that we're trying to understand, and whether we believe them or not. But what we're going through personally is there's now an awakening, and you realize that there's not everything that you see is real, and not everything that we've been told is true, and that you are actually already free. You've just got to know it. And how do you know it? Is you know yourself. You've got to cut through all the stuff. You've got to cut through it to get to know yourself. And then when you know yourself a little bit, when you get closer to knowing what you are, then you start going, whoa, there's freedom here. And then it just kind of is like a ladder into yourself, isn't it?
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that so much. Yes. A ladder into yourself and knowing yourself. It comes back to that because you wouldn't trade it for the world. You just would not trade that for the world. And when you were saying like ripping open that bit of the sky, like I just kept thinking about the Truman Show and and just like
right.
I mean it really is a perfect example of what's been going on really. And what's the other one? It's very similar. Can't remember. It will come back in if it's meant to. But it's just, I mean, and then knowing who you are and like his character is trusting himself, trusting his inner guidance, that knowing that actually something doesn't feel right here. I'm going to explore more. There's more. I know there's more to me. I know there's more to this place. I know there's more to dive into. And that's the power too, isn't it? Like we're really like, ladder into your soul. That's what you said, wasn't it? Ladder into your heart.
Yeah. It's like doors. You go in, the only way in is through knowing yourself, because when I get to know myself, my inner self will show me that this is a trap. That is a trap. Don't go down that road, or that person might have an agenda. Like it shows you, it's almost like you get an x-ray into everything, and you get to, have you noticed lately that your abilities are like amplified off the charts? It's a bit intense. Do you not find it as a bit much?
Yeah, it is. And dream state too. I don't know about your dream state. I was off the Richter scale.
I had to save myself this morning. I had to get out of that. It was like, oh.
Yeah. It's just it's really, and I'm like, is that a dream or is that happening now? Is that something that I'm like in the characters? And I'm like, yeah, I had great hair in one of them. No, actually my friend did.
Your friend.
Friend. No, yeah, I've got a friend. I had a friend, finally. I had a friend, Biba. I can't believe it. I was like, come back. And no, it was just a dream, Nereeda. No, it's just yeah. But no, I think our abilities are like it is a bit off the Richter scale right now, and I feel like it's just going to get more and more like that, isn't it? And then we're going to come back to, I don't know. It's I don't know. Like I don't know.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you really do.
I do.
That's the thing about you. Yeah, you really do.
Yeah. Sometimes I can't find the words, like, it's just like, and I think, man, but just the experiences, the synchronicities, the tapping into-ness, if that's what into-ness, and just the little things as well. Like, I mean, the simple things, like I'm thinking about a person, like I really need to ring that person. I literally pick up my phone, they're ringing me. And like, I know that's a real simple one, but that's been happening like every day, all the time. It's just nuts. I'm like, yeah. And you just those experiences and those knowings and just, yeah, that being in the nature and the breeze, and just even like if I'm listening to a podcast sometimes, and it's happened before, but I reckon in the last 2 weeks it's happened so much where the person will be speaking and they'll talk about being near the ocean and the waves crashing, and I'm like, okay, I'm near the ocean, the waves are crashing, but then they're talking about, and then the wind picks up, and then the wind does pick up, and you're just like, am I creating this? Is this creating, like, and then you just get caught in that, like, what's going, and then you just go, oh, this is hilarious, this is great. How special is
It's
this?
just
How
great.
fun is it? Yeah, it's just great. This is great.
It's just great because it's so seemingly odd, but actually it's very organic.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So you're like listening to a podcast and everything that they're saying, you're having that experience.
Yeah.
It's magnificent. And I was looking to go to a movie again because I love movies. And I was like, oh, I've seen that movie. Oh, no, it's just come out. And I'm thinking, but I've seen the poster, I know the actress, and I've seen the movie. So I looked at the trailer, I was like, but I just saw that a few months ago. Again, this is just, I'm thinking, okay, it wasn't a great movie. So I'm not going to go, I've already seen it. So it's it's kind of nuts, but it's becoming, it's just organic. It's just, it doesn't need to be analyzed like the walk-in guy, Adrian Bay. You should interview Adrian Bay. He's very cool. He said, that's just your soul speaking to you saying, you're just so right on track. You're just so right on track. When these beautiful things happen, or synchronicities or odysseys or the phone calls, and they're not little things, they're big things, because they're your soul is present with you in the moment.
Yeah.
You're in line with your soul, the flow of your soul. And so it doesn't matter whether it's you've seen a podcast or a movie, or look, I was thinking of you and now you're calling me. That's just your soul going, oh, we're right on it. And there's nothing for you to know or to get or to have or to come or to be. It's just isness is just here. And that's all you need to know. And you're fully equipped for everything. And and it's not what you do, it's who you are. You know, so when you're going to work in the morning, or if you're going to the supermarket, or if you're going to buy a bottle of wine, whatever your thing, and they're all waiting to get out, just stop and let them out, because that feels so good. When you're the nice guy, you know what I mean? Being the nice person feels good.
Yeah.
And they're looking at you going, and they're waving. They're like, finally, someone saw me, you know. And you don't have to be the one that's waiting for them to do that for you. You be that person. You know, and some days you won't. Some days you'll be like the arsehole on the road. That's just like, fuck you, man, for cutting me out. And some days you're like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Totally bipolar.
Do you do the one where you're just like, oh, okay, oh, you're not going to wave, no worries. You're just like, oh, okay, thank you. But no
Don't
worries.
expect.
You mustn't have seen me there. Oh, see what's going on.
That's when you know you're having a good day, because it's irrelevant whether they acknowledge it or not.
Yeah.
Because you're just so buzzed out on your own buzz that, like, whether they put the thumbs up or, it's irrelevant. But when they don't, you're like,
I've got this. I've got this thing where if someone's like, they're just like speeding past, they've got to get in front. I'm like, oh, they must have diarrhea. They're going to get home. But poor thing, you go, hold it in. You hopefully get home. I don't know where it came from. Yeah, it just sticks in my head now. I'm like, well, they're going to get somewhere quicker than me right now.
Yeah, and that's like that's just being really lighthearted about everything, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And it's important because some days you won't be lighthearted about it. You know, but that's the dance. That's the dance. That's the dance. Is like music wouldn't be the same if it was just one note. We got to have the like all that. Exactly like that too, Biba, by the way.
Just like, do you mean just like that?
Just like that.
I was in bed the other night, right? And I leave my window wide open and the stars were out there, and it was black sky and the stars were out, because some days you see the stars and some days you don't.
Yeah.
And I felt so I felt heavy, right? And I felt heavy about, I don't know, everything, the universe. And it was just, I could feel just heavy. And I thought, well, I could change my life. So I'm a creator being, so I can have any life I want.
Mm.
This is me trying to talk myself out of a dark place. But I can create any life I want. And I was like, and then the other part of me said, no, but what's the point? Because you're still on the earth.
Thanks,
What's,
other
you know,
side.
yeah, it's you've got to contend with the same stuff. You got to, it doesn't matter where the earth. And I was like, the earth is very small. And I was trying to be a witness to this, what was going on. And then I had to let that go. And I was looking at the stars and I was thinking, I don't know what's out there, and I don't know what's coming or what's not coming. But I just want to feel peace on the inside. I want to feel at peace within myself, and whether it's just the night sky, or I don't want any little people in my room at night. No, no access at night when I'm sleeping. Just no. There's little shuffles in the room, and you're thinking, no, that's my cat. It's got to be my cat. It's always the cat. So then the next night I went to bed and I thought, you've got to come to terms. You got to find peace in yourself, Biba. Because if you don't, because what happened to me, Nereeda, is see the way I got your name right there?
Yeah.
Nereeda. I said that, see how slick that was? It just came.
Let's rewind that moment in time, shall we?
It's just like the first time ever, like I don't ever say people's names because it's like a disorder with names, because it's like whatever.
They're very special.
And when you do the self-inquiry, so much comes up. That's the thing. And how far do you go with it? And I'll just keep going and going and going, like a tumble, like they're drilling under the earth, these drills. It just keeps going. It doesn't matter what shit you find, you just keep going. And I thought, I've gone too far. I'm so disturbed by what I come to understand. Like, I'm so deeply disturbed by it all. Like, when I found out the ET's genetically altered us a long time ago, I just was very deeply disturbed by that. I was like, that took me a couple of years to even comprehend that that's not a possibility, or an option of being a possibility. And then I thought, I agree. And then I thought, I have to just come to terms with this world. I have to find peace. I have to find peace. So the first night was like, you're done. Like, don't bother creating a new reality, because, what's the point? Next night was, I have to find peace within myself and come to terms with everything that I've in the awakening process. Like, sometimes it's just too much. It's like, whoa. It's like, okay, there's just so much information. And then I went up the mountain and I said, right, to the earth, I'm going to lay a couple of things on the table. And I'm telling you this because this is how I work shit out. And I need to know how you work shit out as well, because people need to know how to work through stuff. So I said, right, I'm going to go up the mountain and I'm going to climb that mountain, and I'm going to connect with myself and the earth as I go up that mountain. And on my way down, I'm going to work out what's going on. So on my way down, I said, right. And the earth was like, what's going on? I was like, there's 5 or 6 things that are just on a loop, continuous loop. Okay, what are they? This. What do you want the outcome to be? This. And so it is. This is going on. What about this? Okay, what do you want? How do you want the outcome to be? So it is. And it was done, right? And then I realized that I had to let the darkness come and the heaviness come and the agitation come and the inner child act out. And then I went up to connect. And then I had to talk it out with somebody. And I could only talk it out with the earth, because if I go to another person with this, for some reason, I didn't want to go to another human being with this. I just wanted to deal with this myself, with my invisible friend. And then I came back and I thought, wow, that's just so easy. That's so easy. Like, everything's sorted, and everything that I wanted to be achieved and settle, everything to be settled, the unsettled things, whether they're friendships or work or whatever, I wanted them to be sorted and settled. They were just done in that day. Not in that day, they were sorted. I want selling my business. I was like, I just want my business sold. Done. I made a phone call, and it was like, it can be very easy when you stop resisting. Right? So how do you navigate tumultuous times? What's your go-to? Your personal go-to.
I just can't believe what you were just saying, because I have a dear friend and she's just beautiful. I call her the General, and we bounce stuff off each other, and we literally go, okay, so what's on the table? And then we'll go, well, let's clear the table. All right, and let's start fresh. What do we want on the table? And so when you just said that, I was like, we're definitely from the same place, because that's what we do.
Right.
Like I'm like you, I have a mix. I either need to really just be with myself and just allow, like, and I'm getting so much better at allowing, and just allow what's there. Just, okay, sleep on it. Don't make any decisions when you're feeling off kilter. Just know that it's there, and okay, there's something there that's bubbling away. All right, it's heavy. I'm not sure how I want to deal with that yet. Just let it be for a bit, and I'll just sit with it, and I'll sleep on something. And obviously not all things are like a one night sleep on, but some things are, like exactly what you were saying. Like, I'll have a meeting with my dear friend, and we'll like, what's on the table? What do you want? Don't want that? All right, done. It's done. And so it can be as simple as that as well. But it's taken such a long time to get to that point of knowing that it can be that simple too. And I don't think it can be that simple if you don't think it can be that simple either. So it's like our own barriers that get in the way. So for me, I'll either talk it out with a trusted person and just like really like, what am I not seeing here? What am I not seeing that I need to have reflected back here? Because I can feel that there's something, and I know that there's a way here. Or maybe it's just time. Sometimes things just need time just to simmer down as well. And then for me as well, I'll just, okay, I'm going for a walk. I'll just go for a walk and get by the ocean, and that can just help. That in itself is just reconnecting with just the fresh air and the isness of everything, you know. Yeah, so, and then just going through what comes up and being gentle on yourself as well. Like you said, what do you do in these like when you're having tumultuous times in your life? Like, be really kind, really kind to yourself, and talk to yourself like you would talk to your best mate, or to even just to a stranger. You wouldn't be an asshole. You would say, look, man, you're going through something pretty tough right now. Just be kind to yourself, get a bit of rest, just, you know, sit on the couch for a day, watch a movie if that's what you need. Just drink some more water, whatever it might be, and just to be more kind to what you're going through, because you would never talk like sometimes how we talk to ourselves is just, it's horrible. And that's one thing. That's why I'm so passionate about trying to change that. And is that always your voice anyway? Or is it something coming in that's getting through the crack of the trauma? And that's when you can say to yourself, well, is this mine? Is this even mine? Like sometimes you might be feeling, you're having the best day, and all of a sudden you feel like shit, or you feel anxious, or something just comes in. You're like, is this even mine? Is this even mine? Or am I picking up on someone else's frequency right now? You know, did I? And so that comes back to like what you're saying before too, knowing yourself. Okay, well, actually, I wasn't feeling like that before, and I've got nothing's come in. So, all right, let's have a moment. Let's just ground down and just, okay, is this mine? No, it's not. You know, like and so that being aware as well. So when you're going through all this stuff, and not like what you said before too, you can't resist it. You can't, if you're going to squash it down, it's like putting a basketball in the water and expecting it not to like shoot back up again. It will. Like, you can keep it down for a while, but eventually it's going to come back up. So you're better off like looking at it as it comes up as well too, and go, okay, this is something for me to look at right now. It might not be fun, but it's going to be worth it, because once I do that, it's not there anymore. It's clear. And yeah, that compassion, because we're doing some big shit. We're doing some big shit on this planet right now. So have compassion, and give yourself a bit of pat on the back. Like, you're a pretty kick-ass person being here. Like, you know, like we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot. So, yeah, I think they're the kind of things that I sort of look to do. Do you do similar as well?
Yeah, it's just so good to talk about this because that's exactly to recognize also, it's very important what you just said, to recognize where you're at.
Yeah.
So I have a friend of mine and she was in the Navy for 26 years. So she's a very serious type of person, but she's a magnificent person. And she's like you, she's just expansive. There's no doors, there's no limits to her either. It's just one big ocean of expansion. And in that is all the things, So it's like if you're playing a piano or a chord, it's like you can fluidly just go through all of it or anything. And if there's something new to come in, you're open enough to be able to perceive that. And I said to her, we were having conversation about hypnotherapy, multidimensional, like inner traveling, and how we can fine tune it and work with people where you're going past the synthetic realms of the astral realms are synthetic, and then NDEs. Let's just say all these possibilities that these may just be synthetic programs to keep you in a particular dimension so you don't go to that space where you're actually free from all of that. And I said to her, here's the thing, all of that, right? Put all that aside. We're so on it. Like all of us are, look how far we've come. Like, look where we are. Look at what we're talking about.
Mm.
Yeah. And our ability to feel and perceive. And we're doing so well. We're doing so well. And we're fully charged, even though some days you feel knackered.
Mm.
We're fully charged. And when you're feeling knackered, sleep and eat a clean diet. Don't put your body under any more stress. And microdose, like support your body, do something to support your body when you're knackered, but you're fully charged. And we're right in the heart of this together. We're right in the heart of it. And to recognize that, and to recognize that we're not like, we've unhooked ourselves, and to recognize that.
Mm.
Yeah, of course it's going to be fucking strange because we've never been this free before. Our mind has never been this expansive before, well, not that I'm aware of, and we've unplugged from that. And it's like, whoa, we've unplugged from the Matrix. Like, that movie is incredible. We've unplugged and now here we are. And just to recognize that, as opposed to constantly swimming to the next goalpost, it's like, actually, whoa, I get to be aware of that. And it's just being aware of it. It doesn't have to be anything. It's just the awareness that I've unplugged. And if I want, I can plug in anytime, because there's fucking endless amounts of plugs looking to be hooked into me. And I don't want to be plugged in to any of it. And if I choose to be, that's my call. But I have to remember to unplug myself and be okay with that. Like, I don't need a guru. I don't need a teacher. I don't need a teaching. I don't need a savior. I don't need any of that. And that's unplugging. You become autonomous. You become sovereign. You grow up, like you said, you grow up. I am my own God. I am my own parent. I am my own guru. All those words that people are hooked on. Remove all of those things and just be consciousness itself in this space going, this is an interesting place to be. Tea is really good. I really like tea. Yeah. Pizza's really good too, if I can digest it. If I'm not stressed, I can digest it. So, and just become more curious. Right?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I think that's so beautiful what you said. Then just to become more curious, and just to when you have that awareness, like it's just a gift in itself, isn't it? Like, it's so special and expansive. Like, you wouldn't change it. And then it's beautiful. It's fun. It's exciting. It's magical. It's like, holy crap, what are we doing? This is amazing. It's just all the things. It's all the things. And it's, it's a real special time. It is a real special time, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Yeah, I think, like, I was talking to someone else the other day, And he was saying, like, he goes, I just know that there's just this bit, like, there's this all through life, even though it was tough, like there was just this knowing like this. And I said, yeah, like a little seed, like a little sesame seed. You got to keep going. You know, you got to keep going. And so you do, even if you don't know what that is. And then just more and more, you become more of who you are. You remember, you let go of stuff, and you just go, wow, here I am. Here I am. Ta-da!
And it's great. And it's clean. It's clean. And I have a thing that I do when I feel that, when I feel a bit of heaviness tapped in or whatever, I just go, fuck it. Fuck it. So if the ETs are coming, alien, all the stuff that was programmed into us, whether it's lack of food or lack of transport or lack of housing or ETs or holographic gods are going to show up or all these narratives. You better get some food in and your cash is going to go, so you better spend that and invest that. All of these narratives that are here to just, divergent out of the present moment. So in the awareness of I've unplugged and I'm like, whoa, this is an interesting realm. Without that, it's an interesting realm. It's a nice place to be. And so I'm just in that. And when I feel that I'm not in that, and I feel that, should I get supplies in? But if I get supplies, am I not co-creating in that reality and all that shit that we all go through in here? Fuck it. My new word is just fuck it all.
Yeah.
Not that I don't care, but just fuck it. I'm fully equipped. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm fully charged. My soul is fully equipped to deal with this realm.
Yeah.
And it's already done. And just knowing that helps me understand that everything's actually really always okay, even when it feels like it's really not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. I mean, we're multidimensional, infinite beings. And right now we're hanging out on the screen chatting to each other. And to the awesome human at home, they're chatting with us too. And they're around the campfire with us, just sitting here shooting the breeze. The breeze. Like we could be doing anything in the entire cosmos. And here we are, just hanging out, looking at each other. Go, hi, Biba. How you going?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I got some lovely feedback from the conversations that we had. And do you know what the loveliest feedback is? When people say that, I feel like I'm in the room with you guys. Yeah, because we're just hanging out.
Yeah.
And it's lovely just to hang out. There's nothing to figure out. We're just figuring it out together. There's nothing like tell us about your latest book, or we're just plugging out of all of that for a minute and we're just saying what's going on in and out. And I love these chats. I'm very happy to continue our chats.
Yeah, me too. I love them too, Biba. And I just love you, and I'm so grateful for all of just you, everything about you, and I'm so grateful for this chat today. Do you want to say anything else before? Maybe you'll do a dance. The people listening won't be able to see how amazing your dance is, but she's rocking it to the people only listening. To people watching, you've witnessed it firsthand. It's like Michael Jackson on steroids right there.
Yeah, actually, dancing is excellent.
Yes, it is.
Dancing is excellent. I found a new track, so I'm going to just put it up on the screen here. I found a new song.
Okay.
And this song is a very nice song to dance to, or to drive to, or to do whatever you need to do too. But it will shift you into another gear very quickly. So I'm just going to share this song with you, and then you can find it yourself.
Are you going to tell us the name? You say it out loud for the people listening.
Yeah. Okay. It's called. Okay. So it's actually a remix by. Can you see that?
Yeah, sort of. Yep. Sort of. Can you read? Yeah. Jan? I'm
going to send you the link.
All right, and I'll put it in the description and show notes so people can click onto it.
Yeah. Get a song and put it on repeat and just dance, move.
Yeah. It's the best. It is the best medicine. Even if you're just dancing in the kitchen, just have a rock out.
It's the best place to dance on the
I can honestly say I did it yesterday, actually.
Did you?
What
did you dance to?
I was dancing to some drum and bass music. some drums and some
Nice.
bass. Yeah.
Oh, you were getting into the
I was
tribal vibes.
I was getting into it. Yeah. It was good. It was good. But you feel good. Oh. So similar stuff. But also, like, for me as well too, I like to have a kitchen rock out and just sing, like, when no one's home, and just like see how loud you can go, and just, and then, sometimes I'll try notes that I can't reach, Biba, and I'll just be like, oh, and then I'm like like coughing at the end. I'm like, sorry team, like clearly couldn't hit that note today.
So good. Yeah, exactly. Just having fun.
Yeah, just having fun. Well, Biba, I hope we get to dance again soon. That will be amazing.
Indeed. Indeed.
Thank you for being on the show and the awesome human that you are. And to you at home, thank you for hanging around with us in the lounge room, just chilling out. Hope you've enjoyed hanging out. And yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to say. Is there anything else to say, Biba?
Yeah, I just want to take my hat off to you for creating this space, actually, and all the effort that you have to go through to create this space. It actually takes a lot of time and effort, and I really appreciate the space that you've created, and the heart that you've put into it. It's like when you go into one of those old homes and the fire's on, and yeah, it's a really good place to be. So thank you so much for that, and thanks for inviting me on. It helps me feel validated as a human being that somebody gets me. That's the truth of it. Like,
Yeah.
that's important that somebody gets you, and just know that there are people out there who will get you. You've just got to be courageous enough to state your truth, and then believe it or not, people will go, yeah, I think you're right about that.
Absolutely.
I love you.
I love you too. Thank you so
Till
much,
next
Biba.
time. Thank you so much.